So, what's your view on like motivation? Like, you know, motivational videos and the conferences.
Yeah.
I know you love Tony Robbins.
I do. I'm actually, I really like him, but it's not necessarily motivation as much as inspiration, if you know what I mean. I mean, I'm self-motivated. Like, it's like I don't have to wake up and be like, oh my gosh, like I need to feed my family. Like, oh my gosh, like I want to do nice things for my mother. Like, I don't need a YouTube video to motivate me into that. You know, like I already have that. If you need somebody to motivate you to work, I mean, you've got other problems. But a little inspiration, I think, goes a long way. You know, of aspiring to be better than what you are, and just seeing things that can take you up to another level. And so I love watching videos and talking to other entrepreneurs, and that's one of my big things. You know, I spent the last year, I've probably spoken to at least 100 different people that own businesses on everything. Marketing, funnels, I mean, how to handle employees, just, you know, anything you could think of. Like, it's a good thing to do, and some of that stuff will really inspire you and give you ideas also.
Do you have like a recommended dosage of inspiration?
Not really, no.
Have you ever watched The Secret?
No.
No? Well, like, what's your view on like someone like
The Secret? Yeah, so my mom used to watch Oprah, so she used to always talk about The Secret. And I'm like, sorry, mother, no secrets for me.
Like, what's your view on that stuff? Like, do you think that, you know, you can kind of imagine things into your life?
I mean, I think that's just common sense. Like, if you believe something, like, it's just a lot more likely to happen than not. You know, I think that's more of a mindset of positive thinking, right? Like, imagine you're just like, man, I'm gonna lose all these trades. Well, the odds of you winning are probably not good, right? I mean, that's just, I think that's a common sense thing and a mindset thing, but, you know, you don't need anybody to tell you, like, you should actually believe in what you're trying to accomplish. But that's a little hocus pocus. And I don't need anybody to tell me to believe that I'm gonna have a Lamborghini or whatever, right? I mean, I already know that I'm willing to do what it takes to do that.
Like, when you were going through the grind, did you ever like kind of imagine yourself in a situation that you wanted to be in?
Yeah, I do that even now, right? That's just the power of positive thinking. Like, you know, you have to visualize things, right? So like when we talk about, like, when I do trading boot camp and we're mentoring people, right? And I'm mentoring somebody, and I tell them this thing, I'm like, say they want to focus in on their risk management, right? Because they're bad risk managers. I say, man, even when you're in the shower in the morning, like, you've got to visualize you actually taking small losses, getting out of the trades at the right time. Like, just keep putting it into your brain that it's there and that's what you're gonna do. Like, it's a form of practice, right? So when we're talking about like learning a skill set, so if it's trading, it's, right, you need a certain amount of repetitions and trades, looking at charts under your belt. Well, you know, visualizing certain scenarios and patterns, this is a form of repetition, you know? So like if you're in class and you learn XYZ pattern, so you learn the ORB pattern, and you're like, man, I love this ORB pattern, right? One of the things to do is, you know, beyond just looking at charts that do that, is, you know, start visualizing it. Like, okay, I'm in this stock, it opens like this, and it goes sideways for 15 minutes into a perfect rectangle, and then it explodes out of there, and the risk is low, and right, you're visualizing exactly how it's gonna look, so that you take those type of patterns. And, you know, one of the biggest parts about trading is actually taking setups and patterns that look exactly the way they're supposed to. We call that a tight pattern versus sloppy pattern. If it's loosey-goosey, they always end up being losses, and so that's something that we really focus in on.
Did you ever like have kind of like that deja vu where you know, maybe when you were going through the grind and you had maybe some scenario where you're
going through the grind? Isn't you're always kind of going through the grind?
I guess so, yeah. But, you know, back in the day.
Okay, back in the day, I'm not that old, but sure.
When you kind of just, when you were starting out, maybe.
Nah, I know what you mean. I'm just fucking with you.
All right, so like, you know, during those times, like when you're kind of maybe you had a certain scenario, you're thinking to yourself, I mean, has there ever been a time when that actually played out in real life, like afterwards, and you're like, kind of look back and you're like, holy shit?
Yeah, I mean, that's good. I mean, when you live long enough, I mean, that scenario always happens. I'm a daydreamer. I don't know about you, but like, I always daydream. I can sit around and daydream anything. And so I'm always playing out like, oh man, like if I ever gave a speech for this, like I'd be talking about this. Or like I was just doing the other day, I was watching YouTube videos and I was like, man, yeah, I was replaying the presidential debate and I was like, if I was Trump, this is exactly what I would have said. And if I was Clinton, I would have been right back at him and with exactly this. And neither one of them, I had like the perfect arguments. I mean, they were the deal killers. And neither one of them was smart enough or fast enough to come up with them. And then I was like stewing over it, like, fuck, like how did they not say that? And so like, you know, I'm always like even something like that. So one day if I ever run for president, you better bet your ass I'll have a rebuttal for everything.
Did you ever, like living by the beach, you know, here in Miramar Beach, Florida, did you ever like visualize this?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to be at the beach. So this was not, you know, like a dream. It was, I was gonna do this. Being from Michigan, man, it's so damn cold. You get that seasonal depression. I lived in the cold for 30 years, and even then, it's still like every time October came, I'd be like, winter is coming. Oh man, winter is coming. And I'd just go in hiding like this. There's just no other way to go about and do what I need to do except get out of the cold.